Okay, so there's like a general rule in Hollywood that if there is a subject, um, like involving big scary creatures and monsters, they're gonna make a movie about it. It's inevitable. And so a couple years ago, we got a movie called The Meg. It was directed by, I believe, John Turteltaub, who directed the National Treasure movies, and it was like extremely forgettable. It's Jason Statham is super overpowered. He's like this buff environmentalist guy who I I don't remember what happens in that movie. The shark eats things and people and breaks through glass, and there's like underwater bases, and again, it's just so forgettable that I couldn't even tell you what that movie was about. Um, and so, of course, it made money. And of course, when a movie makes money, it gets a sequel. So let's talk today about Meg 2, The Trench. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Before we get started, red subscribe button, notification bell. That way you know whenever I post a new piece of content. So the one good thing about this movie is that they didn't call it The Meg 2, The Trench, because that would just sound dumb having the in the title and then the in the second part of the title. So they got that part of it right. Everything else about this movie is overblown and dumb and pointless. And this is just one of those movies that doesn't really have a reason to exist. It there's a big chunk of the trailer is this sequence where it's like prehistoric times, and it's basically the scene from Phantom Menace where they're talking about there's always a bigger fish. There's a small animal, small little dinosaur, gets eaten by a bigger dinosaur, and then it's on the beach where it gets eaten by another dinosaur, and then of course, and then like the Tyrannosaurus Rex comes out and eats that dinosaur, and then because it's cool, a Meg comes out of the ocean and eats the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and then you have the title credits, and it's dumb. Meg stands for Megalodon, which actually was a massive prehistoric shark that used to roam the ocean, just like complete, huge, massive, monstrous animals that don't exist anymore. And this movie is, I think, about. I watched it this morning, and I've already forgotten most of what it's about. They are there's like an underwater base, and they go to the underwater base, and then there's like a big corporate bad woman who is evil because she's rich, therefore evil, and she wants to like kill Jonas and extract resources from the ocean because she's just bad. And it's so dumb, and every character is one note, and the CG is awful, and the people do things that physically cannot be done. Like at one point in this movie, he is at the bottom of the ocean, 25,000 feet below sea level. That means there's 25,000 feet of water. And he like goes out of this airlock with no suit. And then he's like, oh, but if I flood my sinus cavities, it'll work. And it's just this lazy, dumb example of what I don't know what this movie's even trying to do. It's so silly. It's so goofy. And you can do a silly, goofy movie like this and have it be fun and enjoyable, but this movie just isn't. There's nothing redeeming about it. I guess you could say some of the action is shot pretty well, and if you take the CG out, there's some like good choreography, and I guess it looks okay. But yeah, overall, this is one of those movies that's just a clear Hollywood cash grab. Original director doesn't come back. They have to have, of course, like a bunch of Megs because one wouldn't be enough. And then they have like this huge giant octopus that comes out of the trench and has a fight with the shark. But it's so goofy and dumb, and not in one of those fun ways. So I didn't like this movie. I didn't like the first one either. It's hard to make a good shark movie because it's been done like ad nauseum. And of course, the godfather of them all, Jaws, is the greatest shark movie, and nothing's ever going to beat that, despite repeated attempts by Hollywood, including The Meg and Meg 2, The Trench. So The Trench is like this huge underwater trench, and there's like all these creatures. They accidentally open it up, and all these animals. It's dumb. That's why the movie's called The Trench, though. So, yeah, I don't really recommend this movie. You probably shouldn't watch it if you like good movies, because this is not one. Thank you so much for checking out this video, though, right? If you liked it, if you found it helpful, I hope you would consider subscribing. You can also like and share it. That tells the powers that be that it's worth promoting. And hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think. Am I way off base? Is Meg 2 The Trench the greatest movie of all time, the greatest movie of 2023, and something that is just completely pleasing to all the senses? If you say that, I think you're probably fake news. But I'll see you next Wednesday at 9 a.m., the same time I see you every Wednesday.